Hey guys, welcome back. Bodie 101 here, and we're back in the world of Infinity, picking up a bit after we left off, not very far. It's nighttime. Let's go sleep. So in between episodes, I'll kind of show you what I did. Let me sleep real quick. This chest has something to do with it. So, what I did is I got the sludge boiler working, which is right over here, and I tested. I'm able to come over here and still be okay. So it's pumping all the sludge, not only from this bad boy, but anything I had inside of there into there. Okay. And you can see I have a line going over to that chest over there. Sorry, I'm getting a little frame rate. But if I get too close, seems to be working, but doesn't seem to be making me sick. I don't think there's enough sludge in there to actually be boiling. So it kind of cooked through the stuff pretty quick. But what it did is it made all this stuff. So we got some dirt, coarse dirt, podzol, sand, red sand, gravel, clay, lots of clay, a little bit of netherrack, a little bit of soul sand, a little bit of mycelium, some ash, some decaying wheat, some peat, and some heat sand. So those are all things that it just produced by basically using that sludge. I'll probably get rid of this sludge tank and just have that keep pumping in there. It's really the only thing that sludge is used for. Other than that, I did take, I always forget to write down who said it. Someone had made the suggestion of putting in some of these conveyor belts. So let's look up these real quick. Conveyor belts, they are from Binoftrash Reloaded, really easy to make. Some rubber, redstone, and that gives us 16. So I made, I think, a stack of them. Put them down. So they fight it, but it does push them closer to this as soon as they're taken over. And as you can see, and I keep having to switch these. It looks like meat has kind of taken over in this a little bit. So anyways, we got plenty of meat, and we do have almost 4 buckets worth. Let me go do something real quick. Let me go see if I have any more tanks. And it gives us that pink slime, so we can kind of keep working on. What I'm basically working on is yet another way of mining. Speaking of mining, I do need to check this. Oh, okay. All right. I got to see how full is this. It's pretty full. Let's go ahead and grab these out and get these going in here to start making us some of this. Then we take this. Whoa, what is with the frames on this? Put it in here, and it starts just chugging out iron. We're going to have more than enough iron. I'm going to grab some of this and just put it in the ME system for now. All right. Or I'll just sit one there. Whatever. That was annoying. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Okay. So what I want to make now, what I want to make is a mining laser. Let's kind of look at this real quick, okay? See how bad this is going to be. So let's go to @Binoftrash Reloaded, okay? And let's see if we can find, it'd probably be easier if I just typed in laser. All right. So we have a laser drill. Okay. That's what I want to make. And we need laser pre-charges. And in each laser pre-charge, we need 1 pink slime crystal. And then to get the pink slime crystals, we need pink slime. So, how do I want to do this? You know what? This may be another multi-episode thing. I know we talked about doing some chit-chatty stuff. We will get to that. I'm just going to... I want to get through this stuff first. All right, let's see. Lava fabricator, steam boiler, auto spawner. Let's see if we have the stuff to make this. All right, so let's just type in auto spawner. I guess we need the little thing. Auto spawner. All right, see, what are we missing? Okay, so we got that stuff. To make these, we should be good. So there's 2 of those. And then, nope, wrong thing. Nope, wrong thing. There we go. This we need to make. Okay. And finally, are we seriously don't have any emeralds? How do we not have any emeralds? I thought I totally had some. I didn't use them for anything. Copper. I don't know why I looked in there. How do we not have emeralds with our quarries going? What did I use all my emeralds for? I'm very confused. Like, I'm blown away. Like, do we have to set up the quarry to get emeralds? Emeralds. Huh. That is super surprising. I know. Did we even... I don't even remember spending any. I know, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I know emeralds are rare, but... I mean, we dug the hell out of this area, and we got so much stuff. I could have swore when I moved stuff, I had a ton of emeralds. Oh, what did I meant to get a tank. I could have swore I had a ton of emeralds. We don't technically need the mob spawner. It's just going to make things a lot easier. Let's see if we have any tanks. Maybe we will go on a little bee hunt. Tanks. Tanks. Do you have any? No tanks. Alright, let's see. Where'd they go? I'm doing this super lazy. Really? I don't have any glass? Oh my god. I think the world's trying to tell me that we need to go on a little bit of a walkabout and have a little bit of a chit-chat. I think that's what we're going to need to do. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and make ourselves some scoops. I mean, if we're going to do this, let's do this. Thaumium scoop, mana steel scoop. I'll just make some of the regular ones. Do we have everything? Do we really not have sticks? Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, let's try this again. Turn this ugly wood into sticks. There we go. Alright. But I know, I really dig the bee side of stuff, so. Alright, let's go ahead and make ourselves, I guess, 2. I guess we're going to make 2, so. Alright, well, I guess we are going to have a little bit of chit-chat time. So, sorry that I lied. I didn't mean to lie. So, basically, we're heading out, and knowing me, I'm going to run past 1,000,001 beehives, so just bear with me. We're going to try and see what we can get. Anyways, so somebody had brought up, and I think this is kind of what they were talking about, and we'll see. Kind of want to talk about getting out of a bad relationship. And when I say relationship, I don't necessarily mean like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever type of relationship. Just any relationship that you're in general. Okay? Any relationship is any repeated interaction you have with another human being, basically. Now, when it comes to that, there's really 2 different kinds. There are relationships you would have with, say, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, something along those lines. There are relationships you would have in that same vein would be friends, either in school or at work or whatever. Oh, yeah, I forgot I planted those blueberry bushes there. We're not going to find a single apiary. If I'm not looking for them, there's 1,000,000 of them. Look at our old base. You remember these days? Good times. Anyways, but yeah, any relationship which is something that's your choice. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but you know that's basically the concept. So there's those types of relationships, and then those are relationships that I feel you do have some control over. It doesn't always feel like you do, but you do. And then there's other relationships that unfortunately you kind of just have to deal with. That would be parents, family members, teachers, coworkers, bosses, those types of situations where you're there for a different purpose. If it's going to school, if it's going to work, if it's your family, you live there. If you're if you haven't moved out yet, you kind of have to. And someone was asking about getting out of bad versions of those. Now, we'll start with the work school, family-based ones. Okay. Now with those, unfortunately, they're generally not. They're not something that's easily gotten out of. Now, does that mean that you can't get out of them? No. Obviously, if you have a job where your boss is a complete jerk, legitimately a jerk, not just he doesn't let you sit on Twitter all day and watch YouTube videos while you're at work, that guy probably has a little bit of validity in his decision making. Same thing with school. If you have a teacher who doesn't let you sit in class all day and text, yeah, well, that's pretty normal. That is pretty normal. So, now, if a situation gets bad enough with a coworker or a boss or something like that, you can always talk to somebody who is higher up in the chain. In extreme situations, especially with a job, you could always leave that job. You could always get another job. But I will tell you, family, you could just not talk to them anymore. But trust me, that's not ever a fix for anything. That just makes things even worse. The biggest thing with those is to, and once again, in my opinion, this is all this is to just kind of figure out a way to make it work. Because a lot of the time what I've found that happens, and I'm speaking as, obviously someone who grew up with parents, someone who went through school, someone who's had many jobs where they had a boss, many jobs where I was the boss. Generally with those jobs, I still have a boss. You got to kind of look at it, and you have to look at it from a couple different standpoints. Is that one, if there's somebody you're not getting along with, you do have to kind of stop for a second and kind of, God, I'm not finding a single ape here, or a single hive. You have to kind of stop and look at how you're approaching the situation. Let's say there's just somebody at school or somebody at work, even with the school thing, it could be other kids at school, like, oh, there's one, kind of like how it's other, coworkers at work where, they may not be in charge of you. What kind is this? Modest. There we go. Let's grab that. Cool. We got ourselves a modest princess. Sweet. But the big thing is, like I said, to kind of look at your attitude of the situation. Because a lot of the times you'll be so surprised that someone just rubs you the wrong way. Maybe you can't even explain it. You meet them and you're like, this guy just, I don't know what it is, but this guy just gets on my last nerve. That is going to basically show how, that's going to make you react to them a certain way. They may have no problem with you. They may think you're pretty cool. But then when all of a sudden, they say, hi, how you doing? You're like, yeah, whatever. You come off as kind of a jerk. That's going to affect how they see you and react to you. And then, of course, they react negatively to you. And you're like, I knew they sucked. I knew they were awful. I could tell from the minute I met them, And a lot of those times, those situations can escalate when they're really not based off of anything of any substance whatsoever. So, that's one kind of thing to look at it. When it comes to teachers and bosses, it's something we all have to deal with. The same way you have to look at it, think about at school that for a lot of people, there's always that one teacher you really get along with. Or, you've had that job where you've got that one boss or that one supervisor that just is like, you guys click and it's awesome. For every one of those, you're going to have 5 teachers or bosses that same scenario. Now, mind you, in those situations, for those people, that's a professional environment. For the teachers, for your boss, that's their job. That's their livelihood. They're, for the most part, not there really looking for a pal. Sometimes it may end up that way, but, when it comes down to it, they're there for work. And the best thing to do is just kind of, do your work. Do what you need to do. Nothing will make a teacher or a boss easier to deal with than if, they basically want you to do an assignment or a task and you do it. Just get it done. Just be like, all right. And you get it done. You don't fight with them. You don't argue with them. You don't make a big deal out of it. You don't freak out. You just get it done. Awesome. Got some more modest stuff. And a lot of time that'll work. And a lot of that kind of goes with your parents too. I mean, if you're, if you live with them or you don't, every time you talk to them, you're kind of like pissy or moody or whatever else. They're people too, just like you. And, oh wow, that's another cool village like ours. And they're going to react to you the same way. If you're treating them like crap, they're going to treat you like crap. So that's a pretty important thing. Those are situations where you do have to kind of look at your attitude and your viewpoint on things. Now, the other side of this, and unfortunately I don't have a ridiculous amount of time to go into this, but I think this is more what they were aiming at. In your life situation, you're going to make friends. And making friends, if you really stop and think about it, is a really kind of weird thing. Especially stop and think if, like, let's say you have a really, like, a best friend, like a really good friend. You guys get along, you get each other's jokes, you're finishing each other's sentences, and all of that. And it's really awesome. The weird part about making friends, and I'm going to tell you right now, it gets weirder as you get older. Because, like, at school, you're kind of there, and, you find people you click with. Ooh, a blue one. What do we got here? We got ourselves a sorceress princess. I like that. The weird thing is that friendship a lot of the time is based off environment. And what I mean by that is that, there's this, you really stop and think about your friends, your good friends. There's this whole weird line of things that happen that lead to that. Okay. So let's say, before you're even born, your parents decide to move to a place. They live in a certain town. Maybe they were born there and lived their whole lives. Maybe they went because of work. Maybe they individually both went there and had different reasons for being there and met and came together, made you. They liked living there. Therefore, you live there. And because you live there, you go to school there. Man, we're doing good. And then you go to school there. And while going to school there, you meet someone and become friends with them. If your parents had made any different decisions, if they, if a job had taken them to a different place, if anything, you wouldn't have met those people. So I think that's kind of a cool thing. It's kind of a very interesting thing. Now, keeping that in mind, and this is where I'm kind of getting to the point, 20 minutes later, is that a lot of the time, because of that whole environment thing, people make friends with just who's around. Who wasn't a jerk to you on that first day of school. It could be something as simple as, you're at work and one of your coworkers on break is, you can hear them listening to music, like an iPod or something like that, and you can hear it and you're like, wow, I like that band. I didn't know anybody else liked that band. And you strike up a conversation, right? But every once in a while, what'll happen is you'll kind of make friends because they're kind of the people that are in your area, in your environment, in your world, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to grab some of this stuff too, real quick while I'm here. And I need to get this growing, to be honest with you. I need this hemp. Ooh, taint. That's scary. I don't think we found a tainted area yet. But yeah, you'll meet people and I don't know, maybe they're kind of jerks to you, I mean, they're and I want to preempt this with saying that anybody who watches like a lot of like the squad's videos and the squad streams and stuff like that, we are all actually really good friends. We play it up, we fight with each other, we mess with each other, we're sometimes it seems that we're really mean to each other. That's just us playing. We're actually all really good friends. There is nobody who was in the squad. Ooh, a queen bee. Wow, that's cool. I've never seen one of those. Do I have any sort of bag on me? I do. Let's do this. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you're gonna. Sometimes you'll kind of get in with a group of people that just they're not fun. They're kind of jerks. But unfortunately, your natural reaction is like, well, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to not have friends or whatever. And you kind of put up with it, right? You hang out with them. You laugh along at their jokes that are not cool. Maybe they're, jerks to other people. Maybe a million different maybes, right? And this can also work for a relationship. Maybe you find somebody, you think they're cute, they think you're cute, you guys get together, and a lot of the time you you gloss over some of the real details of what's going on. And by the way, if you guys see honeycombs and I don't yell at me. I'm just out running around. I'm going to do a lot of this off camera at some point too. So, anyways, but yeah, so you kind of get into a bad situation, and maybe some of those friends are drinking, doing drugs, doing illegal stuff and whatnot, and especially and this is a little bit more geared towards the teenager group. You're kind of like, well, these are the people I hang out with. I don't have any other friends. If I tell these guys to screw off, then I'll be by myself. They'll be mean to me at school. They'll turn everybody against me. I mean, you sit there and you convince yourself that these people that you feel, it doesn't matter what I feel, it doesn't matter what anybody else feels, but these people that you feel are kind of douchebags are really your only option. And it's not true. It's not. And I know it's 1,000 times easier for me to just be like, just kicking the curb, who cares? And move on with your life. But the fact of the matter is, I will say this, and this is, once again, this conversation's a little bit more geared towards the younger high school, junior high age people that watch. You're going to have a ton of friends throughout life. I don't care who you are, unless you basically lock yourself in a room and never leave your house, which ironically is what I do, but that's by choice. You're going to meet new people. You're going to, and knowing myself growing up, there was this one guy that I knew that I was friends with probably since elementary school. And especially in elementary school, we hung out. We were really, like I said, best friends, hung out all the time. His growing up situation was a little tricky. He lived with his grandparents because his parents were kind of, and I'm not going to say his name because I doubt he's watching this, but just in case, I don't want to do that. So anyways, and we grew up, we hang out, we liked the same stuff, we had a lot of fun and everything like that. And as we grew up, we kind of got into some different things. Another queen bee. What is that from? Pam's Harbor. Oh, that's from Pam's Harborcraft uses. Oh, that's how we make honey. Apiary gets us. I guess it does some stuff. I don't know. And as we grew up, we kind of made other friends, and we actually grew up on the same street, so we still kind of ran into each other. We were always civil and everything like that, but we kind of went different routes. And he kind of ended up becoming friends with some people, and I remember even talking to him at times, like in junior high and high school, where we would kind of talk about these people, and he seemed like super uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, you don't have to hang out with them. He's like, well, those are my friends. I mean, those are the people that have chose to hang out with me, and I guess I've chose to hang out with them. And it was always that I guess that kind of made me a little like, anyways, so he went on and he did his thing, I did my thing. We were always cordial and cool with each other. We never had a problem, but generally we kind of went different routes. And I would introduce him to friends I had, and vice versa and whatnot. And when we got to high school, I was hanging out with my friends, and I skateboarded and played in punk rock bands and all that stuff. But for the most part, we were pretty okay kids. We didn't really get into too much trouble or whatnot. But he went a different route, and he started hanging out with some, the kind of crappy friends turned into some really crappy friends that turned into some shady ass, I cussed a little bit, some shady butt people. Whatever. And, and it really kind of broke my heart, because after high school, I would talk to people and they'd be like, oh yeah, well, I heard, did you hear that so-and-so got arrested? Oh, really? Yeah. He was hanging out with these people, and they decided to go break into a place and stuff like that. And we, years later, I ran into him. Ironically, he ended up moving into an apartment complex I lived in at the time. And I talked to him, and I was happy because it seemed that he had kind of gotten his life back together. But we sat there and talked, and he just basically told me like this long story about how, you know, he hung out with this person, and they introduced him that person. Next thing you know, he's doing this, he's doing that. And, you know, then he's getting out of high school, and he's, you know, committing crimes. He's going to jail, then getting out, going back to jail, can't get a job, can't do all this stuff, can't hold down a relationship. And it broke my heart, because when it came down to it, we lived on the same street. We went to the same schools early on. We knew the same people, and basically choices that we made separately in our lives took us in very different paths. And in that, we basically went down different roads, and his road was a hell of a lot tougher, you know. At the time it was going on, he was good with it, but damn it, I even saw it, you know. But he made these choices, and so, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that, you know, you can sit there and be like, well, you know, these friends make me, you know, want to, you know, do stuff that I'm really not comfortable doing. Don't do it, you know, because the fact of the matter is, very seldom, I'm going to tell you this is flat out truth. Modi dropping truth bombs, okay? Flat out. This video is going way over. Is that you're going to have different friends in junior high than you did in high school, or for people in the UK, primary school, secondary school, and so on. You're going to have different friends in high school. Very seldom, and this is the truth bomb, is there anybody I've ever met that was like, oh yeah, my best friend at, you know, 30 years old is the guy that I met when I was 6. It happens. It doesn't happen often. Trust me. So the fact of the matter is, you will meet new people. And when it comes down to friends and relationships, it is your choice. It is your thing. So make the right choices, because the last thing you want to do is, you know, worry that, oh no, you know, tomorrow, if I stop being friends with this person, it's going to be uncomfortable at school. Flash forward a decade, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I shouldn't have listened to this guy. Well, it looks like I'm going to jail. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'd much rather be a little lonely in junior high than having a lot of friends in jail, if you know what I mean, if you know where I'm getting at on that. So that's a big thing. Really, like I said, don't become just egocentric, but at the same time, you know, make friends that make sense to your life. Don't make friends that are conveniently just there, because it doesn't work out. You know, really, you know, make friends based off of what you're into. I'll tell you right now, you know, you guys see that the squad hangs out, and, you know, it seems like we're always doing stuff with, I want to get under here. Hold on. Let's break this quick. What do we got? Whatever. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if I didn't get into Minecraft, if I didn't get in, you know, to YouTube, if I didn't meet Husky, if whatever, I could give you a million if I didn't to, you know, I wouldn't know Heather. I wouldn't be friends with Snoop and everybody else in the squad, you know. You wouldn't be watching this video. So, you know, and at the same time, I don't think that if I had forged the relationships with people that I did get along with, i.e. the people in the squad, that I don't know if, you know, a lot of you guys would, like I said, be watching this video or even know who I am or who Heather is or who Husky, well, you know who Husky is. That has nothing to do with me. Stop at the poison. All right. Let's grab some stuff here. Some junkola. All right, guys. But yeah, that's a little bit of advice. Is like I said, I mean, not everything is about who's around today, because tomorrow can be 1000% different, and just kind of keep that in mind, you know, kind of look into that and whatnot. So, all right, guys, well, we're going to wrap things up here. We did get some bees. That was our point. We're going to probably get into the bee side of things very soon. I still have a little bit more work to do in the Mind Factory Reloaded side of things. So in between episodes, I may have to go on a little bit of an emerald hunt. I may actually pop over to one of our villages, see if I can trade to get a couple emeralds. But anyways, guys, like I said, and I say this at the end of any of these videos, anything I say doesn't mean anything. It's just my opinion. It's just my advice. It's what you decide you want to do with it. If it's nothing, awesome. If it doesn't pertain to you, then I hope you enjoyed me running around and looking for bees. But if it, you know, helps one person, if there's any one person out there that this even remotely pertains to, and it even makes their life one iota better, then you know what? I'll keep on rambling. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, I want to go check out this. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comment section. And until the next episode of Infinity, I want to thank you guys ever so much for hanging out. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.